Welcome into the K0 LWC Ham Shack. Recently, a friend of mine here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota who owns a tree farm asked me, what kind of radio should I buy for my business because we really need them? And I found him a great recommendation. But that begs the question, what makes for a good two-way radio for a business that needs just basic radio communications? Well, let's talk about it. Now, my friend came to me because he knows I'm a radio nerd, being a ham radio operator. We have tons of radios in the amateur radio world that we all like to play with. This is one of them. This is the Icom ICT10. This is a very popular dual-band VHF-UHF analog entry-level radio for ham radio. But you know what? I see radios like this used by businesses and churches and all different kinds of organizations that just don't know any better and don't know how to pick a good radio for their business. You don't want a radio like this. There's tons of keys, tons of functionality. It can lead to problems for your staff, pushing the wrong button, not being on the right channel, you name it. It's just not a good radio for a business. But then what is a good radio for a business? The radio you're gonna want is this radio right here. It's the Icom F200 radio. This is an ideal radio if you're a small business looking for basic two-way radio communication. The Icom F200 and the T10 were provided to me by Epcom. Epcom is a US-based distributor right here in the USA that has a fantastic inventory, whether you're a business owner or an amateur radio operator. As you can see, there is no shortage of stuff they have on hand, whether you're looking for coax, radios, whether marine, business, amateur radio gear, portable, mobile radios, test equipment, you name it, they got it. Go check them out at epcom.net. All right, let's dive into this F200, take a closer look at it and see what you're getting. So the first thing I really wanted to test out with this radio is battery life. They say you can expect around 15 to 16 hours of battery life, which is more than enough for one shift. I was actually getting a little bit better than that at about 16 and a half to 17 and a half hours. Obviously, it depends on how much you're talking and at what power level, but I was really happy with the battery life on the F200. This is going to last a shift for an employee, no problems whatsoever, even a 12-hour shift. Now, when it is time to recharge this radio, you do get a nice, slick drop-in charger that comes with it from Icom. Nice little charger. What I really like about it is it actually is USB-C. So it's a USB-C plug, and not only is it on the actual cradle for the charger, you also have the ability to charge the radio via USB-C right on the radio itself. If you look here on the side of the radio, there is a USB-C port here. Now, I don't think that's as important for a business. I could be wrong. Maybe certain types of businesses, farms maybe, I don't know, or if you're out in the tractor and you can easily plug into a port. But still, it is really nice to see Icom putting USB-C in their commercial radios. Now, you're going to recall earlier I said that a business shouldn't buy an amateur radio as just a quick, easy solution because A, using it for a business would be illegal on those frequencies, and two, let's compare them side by side. First off, look at the size difference. The F200 is much more compact, smaller than this behemoth by comparison, so just in size alone. But also, just look at the complexity of the DTMF keys here and the additional buttons on the front. An employee doesn't need all this. This does all kinds of cool stuff for us, but an employee of a business doesn't need it and doesn't care. They need something that's easy to use like this. There is a monitor button so you can open the squelch if there's a weak signal. There's also simple up-down arrows that control volume. You want to change the channel, go ahead and click on Chan Set, move the arrow, Chan Set again, and then boom, you've changed channels. And you probably couldn't hear it, but one thing I really love about this radio is there's voice announcements built in automatically. So when you change channels, it'll actually speak it out to you, which is a really nice accessibility feature. If you want to change between low and high power, you simply toggle the side button here. And of course, this is PTT to talk. Now, in addition to that USB-C charging port we saw here, there's also a port up here if you want to buy an additional headset. Icom does offer accessories. You can find it at epcom.net, or if you want like a little earbud or a headset, something to wear where you're not having to use the radio and actually pick it up and talk into it, you can absolutely do that with the F200. So what frequency range does this radio actually operate at? This radio is capable of 450 to 470 megahertz on the UHF band. So if you already have existing basic analog radios in the UHF band, this radio is compatible. Just make sure you order the Icom programming software from Epcom when you buy the radios, because you'll need to program the 16 channels that this radio is capable of with with that software, whether it's you or maybe you have another ham radio friend that can do it for you. This radio does offer 2 watts of output power, and you may be wondering, well, what does that get you in terms of range? Well, outside, outdoors, radio to radio, about a mile to a mile and a half of range can be expected. Inside of a large building, about 250,000 square feet, about 20 floors of penetration. It does offer some pretty good coverage if you're a single site business. So what have I been most impressed with in terms of just the overall build quality? This polycarb case feels great, high quality. It is IP54 rated. What does that mean? IP54 means that it is dustproof and water resistant. So if you spill that coffee while you're at work and it splashes on your radio, it's not going to ruin the radio, which is a great thing to have. Or if you step outside in the rain, no worries. Would I recommend this radio to my friend here in Minnesota or to any business owner? Absolutely, 100%. Really enjoy the Icom brand. I love Icom. I think this is a quality, basic, no-frills analog UHF radio designed, custom tailored for businesses that just need a basic, easy-to-operate radio. The battery life, again, fantastic. The speaker, super loud, even in noisy environments. And the microphone, in terms of audio quality, was actually surprisingly good, given how small this mic port is. So just a phenomenal radio. Don't forget, go to epcom.net to find the radio, and big thanks to Epcom for partnering with me on this video. I'm going to do some more deep dives on this radio in addition to the T10, so keep an eye out for those coming up in the future. And with that, drop your questions and comments down below. I'll catch you again next time.